I'm such an honor to be presenting in front of you guys. Let me get a little situated. Oh, I need permission to share my screen.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah.
Thing.
Give you 1 second. Sorry about that.
It's all good. So meanwhile, while we wait for that, I did love hearing you guys' story. And the reason why I posed that is because, you know, video is a powerful tool, and you all are, I'm sure, aware of it. It has the ability to condense us, convey messages, et cetera, et cetera. I was reading stats because I'm also a stats geek at times. And there's a stat out there that says that the brain processes video 60,000 times more or faster than reading text. So it's obvious that we're moving into a video world because the brain actually likes video. So when I pose the question, what was the last thing that you bought? It's because sometimes, especially late at night, it seems to pull on something that you don't think that you need, but it's like, oh, I just want to try it. And so I'll share my favorite thing. Just a sec. Okay, can everybody see my screen? No?
Not yet.
No, not.
Here we go. Yep, got it.
There you go.
There we go.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so this is my favorite purchase.
You would not believe the motherlode I just dropped. And that's how I like to keep it, leaving not a trace that I was ever here, let alone that I just birthed a creamy behemoth from my cavernous bowels. Nothing is worse than stinking up the shared toilet at work, or the toilet at a party, or your lover's apartment. Of course, flushing removes the graphic evidence. Maybe 2 or 3 flushes if your skid marks are as tenacious as mine. But what can be done of that subtle scent of a 300-cow dairy farm? Aerosol air fresheners aren't the most effective option, or the healthiest. Trying to mask the stench, giving you a nice blend of chem-lab carnations with just a touch of feces. So, how do you make the world believe your poop doesn't stink? Or in fact, that you never poop at all? Poopery. Poopery is the before-you-go toilet spray that is proven to trap those embarrassing odors at the source and save relationships.
That never gets old for me. So I saw this video a few years ago, and it was one of those things where I was like, I had to buy it. As a matter of fact, they actually have it in trial size. And what I do is, as a joke, is I send it to like my family members for Christmas or whatnot. But it was then that I realized just how powerful video, or what a powerful tool that video could be. Just the mere fact that I like to consider myself as a logical person. And I saw it, and it was one of those things where I was like, I definitely need this just to need this. So a little bit about me. I do have a background. I have a varied background. I actually have experience in the mortgage industry. I have experience in the government contracting industry. And in that space, I worked as the operations manager. So I was able to like help facilitate, help move the business along, or help manage the business. But one of my favorite things, or one of my favorite careers, was actually in direct sales. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. My dad actually came over the weekend, and I put that I was 14 years as an entrepreneur, but he reminded me that I've been an entrepreneur since I was in elementary school. I used to take, at the time, I used to take our leftover change, which was like lunch was 75 cents. And so everybody's parents would give their kid like $1. And so what I would do is purchase for 10 cents a little Jolly Rancher sticks, and I would sell it to my friends for 25 cents until I got in trouble. So that ended that enterprise. But nevertheless, I realized that I always had kind of that entrepreneur spirit. And let me know if anybody else had like some type of entrepreneur spirit, or just knew when did they realize that they were going to be an entrepreneur. But nevertheless, so as I was working my 9-to-5 as an operations consultant, I stumbled upon direct sales. How many people are in direct sales? Let me know in the comments. I heard a couple of names, or a couple of direct sale companies. So it was in direct sales that I actually had some success. And the reason why I had success in direct sales is because I was able to create or relate through people through my storytelling. And so now, being in video, it was almost like a natural transition from being in direct sales. Yep, I see some direct sales out there. Sharon, Carla, Karen. Okay, so while we're here today, think of me as your Sherpa through the video process, through the video prospecting. We're going to identify and understand how the sales cycles apply to your business. We're going to learn the different types of videos that will move your prospects from along the cycle, and also how to approach people. Now, let's face it, we're in some trying times. Let's learn some techniques on how to approach your potential prospects. And of course, I have a freebie. It is a downloadable resource guide in which I go through some of my favorite video tools to help create personalized videos, and also like what's the difference and how to use them, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so the sales cycle. So everyone has, or every business has some type of process or sales cycle, if you will. And definitely with Net 0.20, your sales cycle may be something similar as you go to a networking event, you schedule a one-on-one, and from that one-on-one, you start to begin the process. And overall, what a sales cycle or sales process is it's not only moving people from one end to another so that they can convert into paying customers, but you're also relationship building. But now with recent times, with COVID hit, let's face it, it hit us like a Mack truck. We were definitely unexpected to have such a shift. But one of the cool things, if you will, if I could use that term, but one of the I guess enlightenedness or what's the word I'm trying to say? Basically, one of the positives out of a negative, right, is that it forced us to make some permanent change, which is why I'm saying the next normal versus the new normal. So with the next normal, companies, we just heard maybe like 1 or 2 weeks ago how some of the big social media giants are now allowing their employees to work permanently from home if they choose. Um, everybody has done a Zoom call, I'm sure, like everybody in the world, or some web conferencing. And so because of that, the next normal is basically highlighting the different approaches for relationship building. So in the chat, let me know, how many emails do you get a day? Anybody want to put it out there? Well, if you're like me and a million, 200 plus, yes, definitely. Well, the average office worker receives about 90 emails a day, and some of you all even are surpassing that. And so think about how your inbox is. Your inbox is actually competing for your attention. As soon as you open it up, you are bombarded with just things, just trying to get your attention. So when we talk about the next normal, I actually got this email a couple of years ago. And like some of you all who mentioned earlier that you're researchers, I'm definitely a researcher too. I love when it comes to my clients to find very creative ways how to get their message across. Like, in other words, when I say that we take a holistic approach, my goal is you're investing in a video. I want to make sure that your video is doing the best for your business. And so because of that, I find myself signing up or just learning, just become a student of video marketing as well, so I can help my clients at the end of the day. And I end up downloading a guide, like I probably do, I don't know, 2-3 times a day, right? Just download a guide. And a couple of days after I downloaded it, this actually popped up into my email. And it almost freaked me out, if you will, because I remember opening it up. I'm like looking over my shoulder and under my desk. I'm like, how's this guy? No, it was just so personal that it almost was uncomfortable. And because he sent this cool little email, and all it just said was like, hey, I want to schedule a demo, et cetera, et cetera. But I found that the concept was so cool and so different. And I was like, yeah, sure. So we sat down, or not sat down, we did a virtual demo, and I have been a fan of this company, Vineyard, ever since. So we all do a lot of networking, right? And how many of you guys are, I don't want to say guilty, but everyone has sent like the follow-up email, you know, it was a pleasure meeting you at such and such. I want to, and so the purpose of the follow-up networking video or the follow-up networking email is you want to schedule your one-on-one. You want to begin the sales process, right? So how about this, right? We're talking about the next normal. How about instead of your typical follow-up networking story or networking email, we do something like this.
Good afternoon, Sean. It was a pleasure meeting you face to face yesterday, and welcome aboard. I'm looking forward to being able to assist Damien and yourself. Really look forward to kicking those longer term goals, which by the sounds of it sounds very exciting. Few moving parts, of course, and it's going to take a little bit of work on the way to getting to New Zealand, basically. So look forward to catching up next week, which is just a bit of an education session, really trying to delve in and understand yourself a little bit more, and make sure that you understand really what's going to be happening going forward. So look forward to catching up next week. You'll have an email come through from myself as well. I will need a few bits of information. It'll all be listed in there. Apart from that, have a great evening. Take care.
Now, let me ask you, what will make you want to hurry up and sign or to do a one-on-one with this person? What will make you move to that, the video or the email, right? Video. A quick little tip too, and I'll talk about this a little bit later. So when you're actually recording a video for your email, in the subject line, you want to, in parentheses or in brackets, put the word video. There's statistic out there that will make, by doing that, it opens up your conversions, open up your click rate. Yes, New Zealand. Gotta love a New Zealand accent. Am I right? Empower your champion. So I don't know if you all noticed, but I've dropped a few Easter eggs out there. I'm definitely a Game of Thrones fan. We're not going to talk about the last season. However, so one of the iconic, there's so many prior to the last season, but one of the iconic episodes in season 4 was episode 8. And in this, we have Tyrion, who's been convicted, or he actually was being accused of killing his nephew, right? His nephew, Joffrey. And so as punishment, or the next steps to, as a consequence of being accused, you had to go through a trial. And so you could choose your trial by combat. And in the trial by combat, you can actually choose your champion. So in this case, we have Prince Oberyn Martell, and then we have the Mountain, which is, so we have the Viper, who is actually fighting on the behalf of Tyrion. And then we also have the Mountain, who's fighting on the behalf of Cersei and Tywin. So what do I mean when I say empower your champion? So have you ever been in this position or this scenario where you have a meeting, right? You're sitting there having a great meeting, and you're having a meeting with, I would say, an influencer. And what I mean by influencer in this context, I'm talking about someone who isn't necessarily the decision maker, but who has the ability to influence the decision maker's mind. So you're sitting down, having a great meeting, you guys are vibing, and then the influencer goes and shares, you know, your concept, or this starts to talk about the meeting you had, and it falls flat. There's like the telephone effect. Anybody remember that game, Telephone? Where it's just something gets lost in translation. And so as a consequence, the deal may go sour, or there's a lot of back and forth, or a lot of added steps. So instead of just having your meeting with your influencer, how about you create a video? And in the video, you talk about the summary of what you all talked about, maybe questions that were raised up, or maybe even explaining a little bit more in details of the proposal. The key is the video now serves as a tool, and that tool will empower the influencer who then becomes your champion. And because he's your champion, meaning he's like has everything he needs to help sway the decision of the decision maker, now you have a closed deal. So we all have a email signature of some type, right? So imagine instead of just your, although this is a very nice email signature, how about if we just take it up a little bit notch, right? Instead of just your contact information, what if you did a little video snippet? And in the video snippet, you talk about who you are and how your company can help them. Just something so that someone who is just kind of getting to know you has an extra little bit to say, oh, okay, I really like this person. And we all know when it comes to sales that it's based on the know, like, and trust factor. So the cool thing about personalized videos is that they don't have to, is that it doesn't take a lot of production, right? And you're talking about a video geek here who gets caught up on certain details, who likes to, take time and make the lighting right. Oh, perfect. I see a question. How long would a video be so how long would a video in an email signature be? I am a strong component of short and sweet. So I would probably say no more than a minute, if that, because you want to be able to engage the person right away. And I'll talk about this in just a second. So make the videos, you want to start with a smile. And here's what I mean. If you looked at that Bongiorno app and the New Zealand guy, for example, he did a great job of keeping a smile. So when you go to record your video, my number one tip is to smile before you hit play, smile afterwards. Otherwise, you're going to get a thumbnail that ends up like this. Secondly, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm speaking to all of my perfectionists out there. I just shared that sometimes I even have a hard time of making videos that don't require like a team and, all this lighting and et cetera, et cetera. But I had to give myself a limit. And I would recommend that you record the video no more than 3 times. And then you just choose the best out of 3 and send it out. Otherwise, you're going to run into a situation in which it just won't get done. No script, use bullet points. The key or the goal about this or about creating these videos is that you want to be able to add a human component to it. And when you add a human component to it, it's not scripted. So use the bullet points to highlight the main points that you want to emphasize and just go with the flow. Also, you want to tell the person in the subject line how long the video will be in order to increase your conversion rate or your open rate, I should say, even more. Letting the person know, hey, recorded a quick 2-minute video, it psychologically lets them know how much time they have to invest into looking at your video. I'm just looking. Okay, so just checking the chats here. Feel free to chime in. I should have mentioned this earlier. If you have any questions or anything like that, and I'll definitely be able to. We're small enough that I can answer it in real time. Now, the approach. As I mentioned before, let's just face it. We're in a incredible 2020 is definitely going to go down in history, right? And so when I say acknowledge the elephant, when I talk about acknowledge, I know the term is typically approach the elephant or address the elephant in a room. So what I mean by acknowledge versus address, acknowledge is literally admitting the knowledge of, like, know what's going on. You're privy to what's going on, right? Whereas address kind of has a prepare. I think by definition, it's like to prepare oneself. So that address kind of has aggressive undertone, like you're addressing something. So instead of address something, just acknowledge, hey, I know this is crazy times, right? Empathy and not sympathy. And what I mean in this context is, empathy meaning use your listening ear, versus sympathy sometimes has a undertone of feeling pity or whatnot. So again, use empathy in terms of listening ear, sympathy, no pity, not petty. Also, focus on a solution. Remember, these are sales calls or sales videos. So, you want to you want to keep the focus on what you're able to help the person with. And finally, it's all because, again, as I mentioned before, we want to humanize the conversation. And that's what all this is about, is you want to humanize the conversation that you have. So here's what I mean. Here's an example. Hey, John, boy, it's been a crazy couple of months, right? I wanted to circle back with you because last time we talked, you discussed how you wanted to add some videos to help spruce up your website, right? So I've been doing some research in the past couple of weeks, last time we talked, and I wanted to share some examples with you. We'll love it if we can chat on a one-on-one basis, or we'd love to set up a meeting with you, however. But basically, I just summed it up and I've kept it in terms of focusing on the solution. I acknowledge, like, man, this has been crazy, et cetera, et cetera. This technique works. Oh man, probably 9 times out of 10 that you at least get a response out of someone, especially when those deals that kind of went flat and you want to revive them. I always go back and try to, revive these, and I always take some type of approach and figure out like what's the best solution for them, and then keep it to how I can help them to move them along. So my question is, if one video could change one thing in your business, what would that look like? So in other words, if you made a video and it doubled your sales, what does that look like? Like, would you buy a new car? Would you be able to help your parents out more? Would you upgrade your home? Or if video could change one thing in your business, how could you help people? Would you hire more employees? Would you give back to causes? Or what type of impact would you like to have? So this is one of my favorite videos, and I know I'm kind of going like, I don't want to say old school, but I like taking videos that gave me that first initial reaction that made me excited when I first see them. So how many of you guys have seen the Dollar Shave Club video? Anyone? No? Oh, yeah? Okay, cool. So you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
Oh my gosh, that video never gets old to me. I'm sorry. I think I just totally shared how my humor is, by the way. So what I love about this story and why do I like to share it when I present is it's the story behind it. So we have Mike Dubbin, who is the CEO of Dollar Shave Club, or yeah, Dollar. I keep on wanting to say Dollar Tree. Like, oh my goodness. It must be my yeah, I haven't been to a Dollar Tree, so I think I'm missing it. That's what it is. Nevertheless, so Mike Dubbin and his business partner, they have this business, or they had this business, and it was fledgling, and they needed to get some cash infused in it, but they faced a problem. The problem was they were up against a huge conglomerate. They were up against like a monopoly. I mean, we know like Gillette's, et cetera, et cetera. Then on top of that, their investors, their would-be investors, had no idea what this business was. Like they just couldn't get it. They didn't understand the membership side of things. They just couldn't get it. So the team decided to invest in a video. And once they did that and they released it on their website, it instantly went viral. On top of that, by doing so, they were able to secure a ton of orders, of course, changing the course of their whole business. They were able to not only get the $100,000 influx of money, but because they kept on making videos and getting people to laugh and understand their blue ocean strategy, their differentiator, they were able to get the attention of Unilever. I get excited when I talk about video. Unilever. And so Unilever in turn bought this company for $1 billion, all because he decided to invest in one video. So it kind of shows you just how different, or just how a difference videos can happen in your business. Um,
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of Dollar Shave Club.
I forgot it does that. So nevertheless, again, my I'll put it in the chat in just a second. My resource guide, and you just click on it, download it, and it has all the videos, companies that I talk about, and I told you I'll walk you through the whole. I'll walk you through like the difference and what are the cool features that this one has and versus that one. And so let's keep the conversation going. If you want to connect, here is my email address. I promise I won't let you be buried along with the other million billion emails that I get. If you want to check out some of our videos, go to our Vimeo page. And of course, you could find me on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram as well. But I kind of like post, stuffs about like kids and all type of stuff, that sort of thing. But for a business level, definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn. And then that is it.